Okay, here we are, gang. Illustration Masterclass, that's why you come here on Fridays. Today's really fun. Fairy tales. Well, they've been around a long, long time, these Western fairy tales that we know and love. Little Red Riding Hood and Goldilocks, the Three Bears, Rumpelstiltskin, Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel. I'm going to say it correctly. You know the drill, gang. But today, I thought it'd be fun to do a character design exercise. All of us together. Please draw along with me. And we're going to choose one of these characters from these old tales and just kind of redesign them for fun, for giggles. You know what I'm saying? So I think what we'll do is we'll open it up to you all out there to vote which of the characters should I do. So we'll pop on over here to Photoshop for a minute and take a look at our list, okay? We have Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks, the Witch from Hansel and Gretel, the Beast, Beauty and the Beast, and Pinocchio. Now, you know, I'm leaning a couple of ways here. There's some things I want to try, but first I thought, why not ask all you fine folks out there if there's something that you'd like to see me draw. If you have a preference, let me know, okay? In the meantime, I'll just say hello to some folks. What's up, Andrew? I got to meet Andrew, well, not for the first time, the second time, but we actually got to really hang out, I believe, this time, and he showed me a card trick. What? Very cool. Where he can pop a card out of the deck. He also did another little bit of business there, but we got to hang out a little bit and say hello to each other. That was nice. Wade. Oh, look who's here. It's Paco, my main man. Got to see Paco at Max as well. He's already got a little vote in here. Misty says the Beast. Paco says the Beast. Elizabeth says the Beast. Uh-oh. Looks like we're starting to already get a favorite here. Cryo all the way from Ireland tuning in. What's up? Hey, Penny Doodles. Love your name. Jack. Hi. Back to you. Thanks for joining us as well. Oliver. Hello. So, the Beast is sure getting a lot of votes. Umacorn says the Beast or Pinocchio. All right. Well, Steve says Beast. Gosh, looks like the clear winner is the Beast. It's no contest. So I guess we're going to have to get cracking on that. All right. So we're going to do away with the list. Bye-bye list. And now it's time to draw. All right. Now, there are lots of ways to go about this kind of thing. And I'll show you a few methods that you can choose from for doing this kind of character work. The first of which is silhouettes. Okay. And that's working with bigger shapes that outline sort of the form of the character that you want to design and not dealing too much with details of the interior. This is more about the exterior, the shape that this figure cuts in the world, if you will. So this is one way to work. Now, there are a couple of ways to do this with brushes. And what I like to do is I like to use brushes that don't give me a lot of detail, so I'd like them to be a little bigger. And let's open up our good old mega pack here. We're gonna bounce in to the paint box. And here in the paint box, we're gonna move on down until we get to this creamy variation brush. So the thing about the creamy variation brush is it's a chunky brush. See that? It's chunky. Now, when you're dealing with a brush like this, you can't exactly get in there with a lot of nitty-gritty, okay? So that means you're going to have to work with big shapes, okay? And that's one of the nice things about it. So this could be an option for you if you want to work super chunky. And what I like to do is I toggle between the foreground and background color, and I keep them black and white, all right? And the way you toggle is you hit the X key. So if I'm doing a little bit of this action, painting like this, okay? If I hit the X key, I'm now toggling to white, and I can just do some sort of carving, right? And this allows me to do this kind of additive and subtractive sort of thing. I hit X again, boom, I'm back into additive, right? And then I hit X again, and now I'm carving away. So this is one way to work. Now, if this brush is too chunky monkey for you and you want to have something that's it's got a bit more control, you could do something like use the cool drag brush. Okay, now the cool drag, whoops, go back to my cool drag is going to give me a little bit of thick to thin, okay, like this. But it's still big enough that I can really get a lot of area covered quickly, okay? But if I need some finer lines, I can do it. Remember that you can adjust all these brushes to your heart's content and do what you will. Now, some of you might want to just stick with something like a basic hard round brush, all right? Something like this, right? But the thing is, you're going to want to really make it juicy, so you're going to bump it up. I recommend like at least kind of, 80 to 100 pixels or something like that, so that you can still do something chunky, and then you can do some finer stuff as well. So it totally depends on the artist and what you like to do. But the main point of the exercise is to design a silhouette. Now, did you know that in Photoshop you actually do have a brush history? Those of you who are fans of the brush history in Fresco probably missed that in Photoshop. In Photoshop you have a pared down version of that. I always like to point this out to people. Up here at the top of the screen, right here, see this? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the most recently used brushes, including all the properties of those brushes that you had assigned at the moment. You can see that I have 2 of the same round brush here, 80 and 30 pixels, okay? Then I've got the cool drag at different sizes, and then I've got, prior to that, a different watercolor brush I was using earlier today. So these are the brushes that I was using. They're different sizes. You can switch back and forth, right? Now I'm back to our good friend, the creamy, okay? I want to go back to that cool drag. There it is. And if I want to jump back to that hard round brush, there it is as well. All right, so you can leave that brush panel open if you want to bounce around and grab those. But I like to stick with basically one brush when I do this exercise. So I think today, maybe we'll try the cool drag, okay? Now, for something like the Beast, I like to just, for any character, think about it like you would with any sort of humanoid. I like to think head, torso, limbs, all right? And, a lot of people like to sort of stick with a full frontal view, if you will, where you have some symmetry and all that. But, I find that sometimes it's a bit more interesting to kind of go a little 3/4 and have some asymmetry. It might give me sort of a better sense of how this creature moves, maybe more of an action pose, that kind of thing. And I can also see, by having it 3/4, a bit more of the profile, so I can design some other things like that too. So, looking at the Beast, one of the things I've noticed in other designs for the Beast is he's usually kind of stocky, kind of got a big fat head, big barrel chest and all that. So that's one way we could go. But what if we did this? What if we did something like a bit more lanky? Like give him a longer neck, okay? And maybe have a shape more like this, leading down into the torso, okay? I can size my brush up, I can size my brush down. Remember to hit that X if you want to carve things away, all right? So maybe that hair in the back, and maybe he's got more sort of like a, like a canine kind of a look to him, okay? We can kind of work out what that would look like. Maybe the hair is long and it comes off the back like that. And there's a limb, kind of a long limb right there for the arm. And then I just think about like a really narrow sort of a waist there, right? And we'll worry about sort of the way he's clothed, okay, later. Hit that X key again. I can really refine that shape. I really want him to have sort of like a dog-like kind of a head here, with this hair cascading down from there, okay? So let's do this. X, there we go. Black, white, black, white. My kids just got back from school. Sorry if you can hear the noise in the kitchen. Now every now and then I'll do this. See this? Size the brush down. And this just gives me an opportunity to do something like this. Add detail just a bit to the silhouette so we understand, oh, okay, that shape is in fact hair. Just a few strands is all you need, right? And then you're right back to the chunky monkey carving kind of business, okay? Alrighty. Now, what do we do with the lower half? So here, I feel like I want to go short. Okay. And sticking with that sort of dog design, right? Like this. The other cool thing I like about a brush like this is it responds to pressure for opacity. So by having it go a little bit little lighter there right behind the torso, it just kind of gives me that way of cheating to show that it's behind something. So now a little bit of detail, just to show what we're doing there with the hands. Okay. Now I'm not going to give him a tail. Not going to worry about that just yet. Going to switch it up here and put the eye right there. Now that's all you need to kind of get you started. Okay. So from here, what you can do is you can do all kinds of things. All right. You can free transform. You can use the warp tool. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and size him down. Bring him over here. And we can leave him be like this, or we can duplicate him, Command J. It's going to copy that layer, slide him on over. Okay. And you can go here now to transform it, go to Edit, Transform, and then Warp. Now, those of you who've been using Photoshop a long time may know that we have changed the warp tool. We've improved it. You have different grids now. You can go up to a 5x5. Look at that. 4x4. Lots of control. You can keep it nice and simple if you go for the 3x3. Okay. And the default where it's just super simple. But it's nice to have those options now. So if I want to, I can elongate and change the sort of language there. Right? I can pull things more this way. Up and out. That's pretty cool. See, so I can just do these things to really kind of fiddle around with proportions. If I want to make that head a bit shorter like that, not have such a long snout, right? I can do that. So we've taken that exact same pose there. And another thing I can do is I can come in and I can make some modifications to the pose itself, right? I can have something like this, where it's like he's sort of walking forward, stepping towards us. Like that. Okay, so that's a bit more dynamic, right? Can also do things like this. I can take this whole little guy right here, just get rid of it, and I can get that arm to cross over like this, and then if I grab that X key again, right, which is going to switch things out, it's a subtle thing here, but you can do this kind of thing. Just suggest that that hand is coming across here. That's all you got to do. See that? Just kind of pops it out in front of the body. Right? You can get kind of crazy here. You can start adding like some details. Maybe he's got these like tufts of hair that come off the elbow. Right? It's kind of a cool detail. All right, so there you go. So that's silhouetting, right? You're just making a silhouette, and this is just the very beginning of this exercise, because you have one idea, and you can put it aside, and then you can carry on doing more of them. Okay, so we'll do one more, and then we'll move on. But I'll pause and see if we have any questions here from anybody. Let's see. Oh, I see. Cool. So Elizabeth said you were gonna do Pinocchio, but it'd be fun for the Beast. Yeah. A boopable snoot. Is that for the nose there? A lot more energy in the second variation. I agree with you, Wade. Yeah, that's what's cool about using the warp tool like that. Oh yeah, it does kind of a werewolfy kind of look, doesn't it? Nice. Yeah. Well, actually, you know, speaking of which, and that's one of the cool things is you can take it, right? And this is a thing I do all the time, is in addition to, you know, just starting from scratch, you can start with one of these and then do this. You know, add like some sort of ram's horns there, right? Go X and then just kind of, whoops, I keep doing this. I keep accidentally switching out my color. But see, the moment you do that, it no longer has that werewolf look. Now it's got a different look altogether. So just adding those horns it's crazy how that can really change things up. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Another thing you could do, right? Have a tail, long tail. Like that. Now it's a totally different situation. Okay. Never seen a beast in Beauty and the Beast with wings. I mean, you could have like some wings that are hanging out back there, right? It's another option. So many things you can do. So yeah, you could take that as a starting point and then you can mess around with it like that. So that totally changes it, right? We were here and now we're here. And it only took a few minutes, right? We're like, what, 10 minutes into the show or whatever. All right, so let's do one more silhouette exercise and we're gonna change it up completely, okay? So for this one, we're gonna go with, oops, ears that are off to the side. Two horns coming up the top there. We're gonna have a really thick, well, you know, basically a neck that's not even, it's not even there, if you know what I mean. The neck's basically not there. Okay, it's just straight into the traps, right? And rolls on down. And then we're going to do this. Now we've got our body, and he's going to be like kind of hunching forward. And I think for the legs, we're just going to have more sort of human situation here. And here's where that X comes in handy again. I just go like this. And I can do this kind of thing where I just sort of highlight the head a little bit. Okay, and that gives me an idea of what's going on there. Like this. Totally different kind of a shape here, right? Totally different kind of a shape. Very different. And again, I don't know how I keep doing this. I keep doing it. But here I can sort of bring this out like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the way this feels here. I'm going to actually give a wider stance here. Like that. Cool. So I like this guy. I like this sort of minotaur sort of a look. Could even, if you wanted to, you could do something like that, like give him a little ring in the front, you know? I don't know. But that's a fun variant there. And just like before, what you do is duplicate that bad boy, slide him on over here. Okay, we go to Edit, Transform, Warpy Warp, and here you can play around. You can like really stretch the proportions here, right? Make them even wider if you want. Crouch them down more. It's more fierce, kind of. Give them a bit more of a lean. There we go. See? So, like, a way to add dynamism is to play with that warp tool. You can really play things up. Lean into whatever sort of action lines you feel like you have going on in the pose, right? Lines of action, gesture, right? You want to play those up. You can do it. All right, so Chonky Beast, says Penny. Yeah, he's beastly. 28% more hench. Oh, Umacorn, you must be. Where are you? Are you in Europe somewhere? You said it's getting bedtime. Yeah. Adam's Family-esque. Halloween. It's on. Let's see. I'm glad you're drawing, Elizabeth. Cool. Keep drawing with us. Yeah. All right. So let's keep going. What do we do now? Okay, so we've gotten to this point. We've done a couple silhouettes. Now I said that there were several ways to go about doing this. Well, of course, you know, this silhouette kind of method is nice because you can really do the additive subtractive thing, chonk, chonk, cut, cut, right? It's really fun to work that way, but it's not for everybody. Sometimes what you want to do is you want to work with shapes that are more basic. So I'll show you another kind of a silhouetting thing. So we'll group all these together for a moment here. Okay, we'll just hide that. Another thing you can do is you can use your lasso tool. And check this out, guys. I have a plugin that I'm going to be sharing very soon on my Gumroad. It's an autofill plugin. And so check out what it does. You just make a shape and it just automatically fills it. Isn't that great? Woohoo! So fast. Huge time saver. So like that could be a way that you want to work, is just like to work with really, really simple basic shapes. So you might do something like this. Okay? That might be a starting point. Sort of warthog kind of thing going on there, right? Maybe you like the way that looks. Remember, you got that X key, so you can, I keep doing it. X is going to toggle foreground, background, so I can just do that. And just mess around like that. Hit X again. Now I'm back to figuring out those designs there. Some ears. I think the horns are a bit much, so I'll go ahead and switch those out for some horns that do this. Okay. Put a mouth right there. Okay. So designing with like these solid shapes. Pretty nice, right? Size that down, give me room for the body. And here, I like to think of like a nice coat that he's wearing, but then he's got these areas poking through. Right here where the elbows are, you know? And he's got little legs like that, right? Not so, you got a big head, kind of slender there through the middle. Not exactly, you know. Not as chunky as some of the other designs. Okay. Create a little space right there. And then we just do that. And we've got a design for the beast that's you know, he's got his nice suit there, and that's a totally different way of working. That's just using more solid shapes to design. Okay, and again, if you wish, go ahead and grab him and come over to your edit, transform, warpy warp. Okay, and you can play around with stuff. You can try different proportions. You can see what happens if you shorten or lengthen or make smaller or larger different areas, right? Maybe you want to have the torso and the arms be a lot bigger. Make that head a little wider like this. Right, there's an option right there. So it's cool to be able to quickly try these things out like that, and this is what Photoshop does. It's the magic of Photoshop, right? But yeah, what do you think about that plugin, huh? That's coming soon. It's called Lasso Fill. All right, but there you go. So now we've got two different ways to do it. So these are both silhouettes, okay? But one is more painterly. You're kind of feeling your way through painting, additive, subtractive. The other one is, as you can see, a lot more, it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot sharper, it's a lot more about really nailing those shapes, kind of committing to them, but of course you have the option to change all the way through. But it's just that sort of just more direct approach, if you will. The moment you complete a shape, a part of the silhouette, it's there, and it's good to go. I'm 95% art magic and 5% dad jokes. Hey, listen, I used to hate facial hair, but then it grew on me. Oh, who's from the... Oh, Unicorn, you're in the Netherlands. Ah, okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching all the way from the land of the Dutch. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're looking forward to that plugin. Yeah, I'm anxious to get it out there. Cool. Alrighty, gang. So now, what's the other way you want to work on it? Well, of course, we've got these methods, and they're fun. But then you got the good old-fashioned sketching, right? So, grab yourselves a pencil or whatever you like to sketch with. So I'll go ahead and in the winter 2022 brush set, there was a nice pencil that I like. Although I might not have the winter brushes loaded here. Let me see. Looks like I don't. That's fine. I'll grab something else. I think in spring 2021 I might have had the concept pencil. Maybe not. Of course, I could always go for the old standbys. But you know what I like in that David Bowie brush set? I like the pencil in there. Here it is. Pressure. I like this pencil. Okay, so gonna draw with this. So this is, now you're just sketching, right? This is all about line, but you still want to think about the general shapes and the form of things. So going back to what we had here, right? For this design right here, right? That to me is interesting. So keeping that in mind, I could sort of maybe work a bit more on something like that. Or I'm thinking about this head first. So more sort of like a nose like this. It's more dog-like. And maybe we sort of give a little bit of a goatee kind of a shape there. So this is more what I'm thinking about here. There's that brow over the eyes there. And you know, of course, you're gonna have those big heavy eyebrows or whatever, so that you can have something expressive, right? You want that. We had those sort of ram's horns coming out. Twisting and doing whatever they do, right? Like that, and then you've got to have that hair spilling there from top of the head, making its way down there, and then it's sort of a longer neck. And now, you know, now that I've got this general shape here, working for me, I can size that down. And we can design maybe more of the outfit here. So we'll have the coat. Button it up there. And we'll take this hand and just get those fingers right here. Okay, so there's one hand kind of turning towards us, and there we go. I'm gonna have some hair coming in front of that, like that. And we had the other arm here that could be reaching out. Nah, I don't like that. I love you, undo. Actually, here's what I want to do with that arm. Maybe have it come down and then... Oh, you know, it'd be kind of cool. Maybe he uses like a sort of a walking stick, like a cane of some kind. But not like because he can't walk, but more of those, like those things that you know, just because they're cool. They add a bit of character or personality. And maybe it's got some like special thing on it that represents like the family or his family name or something. Let's go back to our design there. So there you can see the legs coming out. hard for me to figure out this sort of anatomy on the fly here, but that's the general idea. And I believe he had a tail too, so we'll go ahead and get that worked in there. Neck needs to be a little longer too, but you know. So now again, I can go in again. Here we go to edit, transform, and warp. Okay, and you can take all this stuff and pinch it in here. From the bottom. And then we can take all this other stuff and pull it this way. There we go. And you can do things like this. You can grab different sections, free transform. You know, I'm doing that with Command T, Control T if you're on a PC. That whole hand needs some work. Gotta remember what it is I'm trying to do with the hand. It's a little better. Okay, so now comparing that to our design there, it's pretty similar. Made the snout a little longer maybe, but I think generally it feels pretty close. I also added this little goatee sort of thing, which a little different there. That's kind of a nice design. I feel pretty good about that. Probably have some kind of like cravat. Is that what they call those ties that like puff out, or just French word for tie basically, but there. What do you think about this? How's that feel for you all? What do you think about that? How are we feeling about that? Thanks, Peter. Glad you like it. Happy Friday. Yeah, it is Friday. Gosh. Exactly. Alrighty, cool. Warping certainly gives it more dimension. Yeah, warping is such a cool thing. Oh, Evie, you're thinking about Splinter. Oh yeah, Splinter. Thank you. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so fun. Make this nose a bit more. It's gotta have a bit more sort of character. There we go. I don't know if y'all can hear the violin in the background, but it is that time. If any of you know what happens in the Webster household when I do my streams at this time of the day, you know it's violin time. My kids are playing the hardest music right now, I'm amazed. Did I tell everybody we saw Joshua Bell? My gosh. Came and did a concert here in town. It was so cool. He's so amazing. All right, so now what do? We knock it back, okay? And we mess around. We take this and we say, let's move that up. Let's get more dynamic. Let's get in on that. Let's get that pose to feel more tense. Okay, like that. Let's get maybe this arm out here like this a bit more. So we follow this nice gesture here all the way from the neck down out through there. And then we have this going on right through. Okay, so that feels a bit better. You see what I'm doing here? So just take note of this. This is what you like, you're changing the pose, right? It's the same as it was, but it's not the same. It's like you're trying to add a bit more juice, right? The tail, for example. Let's have it come more, so it's gonna connect with that line of action right there. And then do its loop. Like that. Okay. All right, now let's create a new layer. And let us, I think in that Bowie brush set I also had another nice inking tool. Let's see if I can find it. Is it the Queen Bish? No, it's the Lazarus. Yeah, Lazarus pen is nice. And here, we start to design a bit tighter now. One nice thing might be, I mean, we didn't do this in the sketch, but you know, maybe he should have a few little teeth. What do you think? Maybe just in the front? Is that corny? I don't know. Or some little teeth popping through from underneath. These are all the things you can play with, you know? I think for now I'm just gonna leave him be because I kind of like the way he doesn't look so threatening and mean. He looks okay here. He doesn't look like he's that bad a guy, right? Another thing you could do is you could have there be a bit of an underbite, overbite, underbite. You just push that jaw forward like that. At least it gives you a very different feeling than not having that that jaw forward. And then just a little bit of tooth there and there, right? That's the kind of thing maybe that makes a little difference. You can always change your mind later. Let me get that hair growing out from there, and then we got that horn. You got this one. One of the hardest things is to design a horn properly because of how it like does this thing where it changes its, you know, twisting kind of action, whatever. So I'm just gonna fake it. You get the idea. Fake it until you make it, gang. That's what you gotta do sometimes. That hair back there. And we got some nice whiskery stuff kind of happening there. This is not going to be a great drawing. It's just to tighten things up a bit and get a better idea of the design of this guy. But you know, obviously, with the time we have allotted here, I can only do so much. But it'll be nice to see a slightly tighter drawing here. And when I say slightly, I mean slightly. Okay. This brush again is the Queen Bish from, no, it's the Lazarus pen from that nice David Bowie brush set I designed a year ago. Earlier this year, actually. It was this year, it's this calendar year. In partnership with the David Bowie folks. Adobe, we did a bunch of assets for you. Go grab those. I think they're still there for everyone to grab, I'm pretty sure. Okay, and then here we go. Racing the clock. This reminds me a little bit of the Draw Along show where I'd have to just kind of get something down. Before we ran out of time. Right? All right, so yep, down to the wire. I think I got it. I think we got it. We got it. We got it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, gang. Going to make it. I think we're gonna make it. Sorry, I gotta get that. I don't know, tail or no tail. I'm kind of feeling it without the tail. It's hard to decide. Hard to decide. I think we'll just do this. Like that. And there you go. There's the beast. Cool. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for going through this exercise. Hope you found it useful. Silhouettes are your friend. Sketching's your friend. Shapes are your friend. Lots of cool stuff. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Remember to be kind. And I'll say ciao for now.